Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome into episode number 54 of the Valley Sports Guys podcast, live from his place, Coffee Community, and more here in Monessen. I am Mon Valley Independent Assistant Sports Editor Jose Negron, joined by our usual cast of characters, starting off with our fearless leader, Jeremy Slew. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning.
You overcame a lot this morning.
We'll talk about it. It was a terrifying morning.
It was a terrifying experience. We will talk about it. We wouldn't need to get it off our chest. You guys don't even know what we're talking about, but we'll get into it.
My wife will be very excited that it was terrifying for me.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. Yeah, absolutely. We got Alex Lyons in the house.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up? John Gibson jersey.
That's right. Got to support the Whitehall native.
Repping it today. We got Nick Hicksenball in the house. Nick.
What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
No class today?
No class.
Good.
We never have class.
Never have class.
Never.
But a lot to discuss here on today's podcast. We are into the thick of section play in baseball and softball. Track and field season has started. So we have a lot to discuss here early on, and a couple of surprises in section play so far on both the baseball side and the softball side, Jeremy.
Yeah, I put this on our little sheet to talk about here, but there's a couple surprise. I don't know if we could say surprises because it's so early.
Yeah.
I mean, most teams lucky if they have 3 games in because of the weather and everything like that. Speaking of weather, the sun poisoning looks a lot better today.
Yes, yeah.
On
Still don't know how that happened with no sun.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, fair skin. Anyway, so one of my I'll say pleasant surprises is it looks like Charleroi baseball is back. I mean, it's been a while since, the Cougars have really been, on the top of their section. Right now they're sitting at 3-0. They came back with 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning yesterday to beat McGuffey at Wild Things Park. They play them again today, a game that we'll have live. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But softball-wise, I think it's about just the hitting. I mean, I know you have here. You're going to talk about Maren Metakosh. I think she's got out less than how many fingers I have on my hand so far this year. She's just killing the ball.
R.I.P. to the sign there.
Oh yeah, the sign fell. Just imagine that it's fully
that's what happens on a live show. Anyway, but I mean, I think we got a lot of quality teams. One of the things that's a surprise to me is, we saw yesterday Charleroi softball sitting at 0-3. I mean, I would never have expected them to be 0-3 at this part in the season. So a lot of surprises so far, and we'll talk about them as we go down, and I'll add some thoughts, but. South Allegheny girls, big win over Mount Pleasant, the defending state and WPIAL champions yesterday. They're gonna outslug people. They don't want these 3-2, 3-0 games. They want to beat you 14-10 and 14-6, and they have a lineup that can do that. So a lot of good things so far here in the baseball softball season.
As Alex attempts to restructure the sign.
A little construction project going on. That's okay.
But also, we're now the first annual first pitch tournament is now in the books.
It is.
And weather obviously played a huge role in this. We had to get a couple of different teams into the mix for the second day, which happened this past weekend. But overall, very, very successful first try at this.
I thought it went well. And first, Nick can join me on this. I have to issue an apology to Bell Vernon softball because there was a big miscommunication. We thought they dropped out of the tournament on Saturday. Then we get a note late Friday saying they were still coming, and we had to say, you can't. We were told you weren't going to be there. I know I feel horrible about it. I know Coach Hartman feels bad about it. Nick was in the middle of it. I think we got it crossed out, but I mean, I think it went well for having it over 2 weekends. We had great games. I mean, the Ringgold Charleroi game on Saturday was a great game.
That was phenomenal.
1-0 win for Ringgold, and they needed it because the day before Peters Township blasted them. I think it was 13-2, so they needed a big rebound win. They get it over a rival, and I think it kind of, the start for Charleroi has something to say about yesterday's game when they got whacked by Fraser. I think, the confidence level just needs to rise with the Cougars there, but I think it will. Any other thoughts? I mean, I thought it went well for the 2 days we had in minus the sun.
I thought it went really well. I think early on in the season, the best game that I have seen was probably that Charleroi game.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
When Adoria Waldeer hits a walk-off home run. We saw Avery Pendo come up with a big homer for Charleroi. We mentioned it on last week's podcast. The freshmen have really come alive, and we got to see that really in full force in the first pitch tournament.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a good start to, I think, where this is going to be able to go in the future. And it went well. We got to see some great games in there. You mentioned, the two big ones, but great pitching matchups in that 1-0 game, incredible. And, Ringgold, with that win over Charleroi, they matched their total from last year, 4 games into the season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's great for them, hopefully for them trending in the right direction.
It's big for them, too, because their section is not easy.
No.
So when they get into section play, they have something momentum built in because, when you're talking about 2 games against Bell Vernon, EF, and York.
And West Mifflin.
Who
just
beat
York.
York yesterday, yeah. So, I mean, that section's going to be a grind for the Rams, so it's good that, they're kind of on a roll heading into the section.
You get a lot of confidence, with wins like that. A 1-0 win, I mean, you can get a ton of confidence going into section play. And if you look at, kind of the preseason rankings or kind of where we thought teams would be in that section, maybe Ringgold's on the outside looking in, ahead of Laurel Highlands, ahead of Uniontown, but still below those 4 teams that could eventually make it into the playoffs out of that section. So definitely a big win for them. They got a win against California. So they went 2-0 in tournament play. So, definitely a good start of the season for Ringgold. And Nicole Palmer, 15 strikeouts in Frazier's win over Brownsville. So a lot of good pitching matchups as well. And, it was, I think, an ideal start to which should be a pretty interesting softball season.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that already. And I don't want to skip over you, but since I'm on softball, do you mind if I hop to my topic real quick?
Absolutely, yeah.
Jose, and then we'll go back to you because I know you got some baseball stuff to talk about. But, we did, in my opinion, one of the more interesting games I think we may see all year on Thursday last week when we were up on Cougar Mountain, York versus EF. And I think with the loss to West Mifflin now for York, this shows a big question mark with a possible 4A favorite. Can they finish games?
Right.
Because EF, obviously, we knew what they were last year, but we know what they've lost. And they've lost an absolute ton. Resnick, you lose Larcenies. I mean, that's just household huge names that are no longer with you. And, you go up on Cougar Mountain, Spoonhauer hits a ball out, Rittenauer hits a ball out. I mean, the ball was flying all over the yard, and it's 9-1 in favor of York in the, bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie Pritz up with 2 on and 2 outs, a chance to end the game, a chance to 10-run Elizabeth Ford to start section play. Caught stealing. 5-run bottom of the half. I think Sukup hit a leadoff home run to start the party there. And then you take it to the top of the 7th. 2 outs, down by 1, 2 on. Olivia Grimm hits one to the fence, which in most yards, I think, leaves. I mean, York has that high fence in the outfield. And, I mean, Grimm was close to giving EF a 2-run lead in the 7th inning when they were down 9-1. And, I mean, that's kind of something you look at. And, they have Emma Augustine, who's a great pitcher, but that was a huge kind of swing. And then same thing against West Mifflin. They're up 5-1 with 2 outs in the 7th. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was a 5-1.
5-1 in
I know there was 2 outs, and it was
inning.
a big margin of deficit, and they lost.
Yeah.
York got to find a way to close out games, and I think that's what we're seeing in the early going is maybe is it, yes, EF is pretty good. We know Olivia Grimm's going to be great. You saw that yesterday in firsthand as the freshman was unreal again, but the question is, can York close out games now?
Yeah.
They had trouble with EF, and they could not do it against West Mifflin.
And it, once again, kind of early on in the season, we kind of thought, all right, York gets a big win against Elizabeth Ford. This could be their year. This could be their year where they get back into winning a section championship, and then all of a sudden, they blow another lead. They didn't blow the lead against Elizabeth Ford, but they blow a lead against West Mifflin, and all of a sudden, the section standings are all jumbled up to start, right out of the gate. You have Yock and Elizabeth Ford both at 1-1. Elizabeth Ford a big win over Bell Vernon, who also is now 1-1 in section play. And then West Mifflin is at 2-0, but it's still early in the season. You still have all these matchups. One more matchup with Yock, 2 with Bell Vernon, 2 with Elizabeth Ford, even Ringgold. Maybe they could be a pest and steal a few games, which I know was Greg Adams' goal coming into the season, maybe steal a few games from those top 4 teams and then do what you have to do against Laurel Highlands and Uniontown. But, it creates a ton of havoc now in Section 2 in Class 4A. And really there is no favorite. I think it's going to be a complete just mess the whole season.
Mad dash
the whole
to the
season
finish.
long.
And that's where I'll be tomorrow. West Mifflin comes to Bell Vernon.
Yeah,
and
so
that's
going to be a huge
big
game. Every single game in this section is going to be huge, and that's what every coach in this section has mentioned. Dutch Harvey said it. Tom Rodriguez said it. Harry Rutherford said it. Greg Adams has said it. Every game you're going to have to be at your best because there are really good teams in this section, really good players, and it's going to be a grind to the finish.
And we talked about this a lot last week, too, during softball about WPIL will be aware of the Mon Valley freshmen. But I think a lot of the Mon Valley freshmen have now also, in the early season, they've seen success, but they've also seen the rough patches. Waldeer struggled a lot against Elizabeth Forward, and after a great start to the season, Pendo in her second game of the year went from looking like a Gold Glove all-star to almost unable to field a ball. Grace Vaughn's been good for Fraser, but had multiple errors yesterday. So we've seen the success. We've also seen the learning curves as well that these girls, and I think it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all.
I mean, it's going to be, you're eventually going to take that shot to the face. And the question is, how do you respond with it? And now that it's early, you have a lot of time to respond with it.
Yeah, there's so much young talent. Jeremy mentioned it on the podcast last week that, all the freshmen have really proven how good they can be right away. But there are going to be the growing pains. We saw another freshman that had a huge game yesterday in Olivia Grimm, who went 3 for 3, 4 RBIs for Elizabeth Ford while hitting out of the 6th spot in their lineup. She's going to be a constant in the middle of that Elizabeth Ford lineup all season long. She's the only starting freshman on that team. And, Harry Rutherford really credited her for the way that she's been able to have this immediate impact because that's not easy. Coming in as a freshman, being the only freshman starter and taking a position that is as taxing as the catching position and replacing a 3-year starter in Breeser Sevick. Those are big shoes to fill, and so far so good for Olivia Grimm. She came off the basketball season, so she got a late start as well into softball, but she's really done a great job of making an immediate impact and sure showed that against Bell Vernon yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. Young talent all around, not just in softball, Jose. We got some great young talent in baseball as well.
Yeah, and it really all starts with Zack Black from Sarah Catholic. The start that he has been able to have through 4 games, 2 hits in each game for him through those 4 games, 8 for 12, hitting .667, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. He has 2 RBIs in each of his games as well. He hit one out against East Allegheny, hit one out against Carrick. Just phenomenal start for him. We saw what Mark Black was able to do, and Zack Black has just made a name for himself as well. It's just Brian Zarenda's pretty happy to have the Black brothers and what they've been able to mean to this program. And
there's another one coming.
And there is another one coming. So definitely something that Brian Zarenda is pretty happy about. And Zach's only a sophomore. He's really the I guess you could say the face of this program right now. And Brian Zarenda said, hey, we're going to have a lot more power. And Zack Black has accounted for both of their home runs, which ties what they were able to do all of last season. So a great start for Zack Black. And on the softball side as well, got to give, you mentioned it, Jeremy, got to give a shout out to Maren Metakosh and what she has been able to do at Bell Vernon. 4 for 4 yesterday for the Leopards. She had 4 of, I believe, their 6 hits. 7 hits, actually, in their loss to Elizabeth Ford. 16 for 18, and she is hitting .889.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
She's
in the running already for Player of the Year.
How she can't get out. She can't. Tom literally, he's like, it's unbelievable. She just continues to amaze, and having her at the top of that Bell Vernon lineup, that's huge for them to have that consistent offensive force. But you need some help around that.
And I think what we're going to see is as we roll into the season here, she's not going to see any pitches.
Yeah.
she's going to get the Bailey Parfel treatment. Dutch Harvey's going to walk her.
Yeah.
There ain't
Especially if she's hitting
no
out of
doubt
that
about it.
3 spot,
So
you get
I'm
2 quick outs.
expecting to her to make the Mark Black jump that he's going to have to put her at leadoff.
Yeah.
Just to see if she could get some more pitches and get on base. So
Right.
it's going to be real interesting. But you mentioned Metakosh. We got to talk about the Sarah Catholic, Tori Thom. She's ripping the cover off the ball as well. I mean, we're looking at her box scores come in every day. There's doubles, home runs. I think she was 3 for 4 yesterday, and over the doubleheader that they had over the weekend, I think she was a combined 6 for 8 or 7 for 8.
I think in the second game she went 4 for 4 with 8 RBIs.
Yeah,
You know how many runs they scored in that game?
8. They scored 8. So I mean, there's a lot of girls that are really performing, and baseball wise as well. I mean, I mentioned Charleroi earlier. I mean, you have the freshman Caden Woods threw a 3-hitter yesterday and ended up staying in the game. Yeah, staying in the game and ended up getting the win. There's a lot of excitement around the Valley this year for the baseball.
I think we have to watch out for the Sarah softball team. I know they had 2 tough losses against a team from West Virginia, from Brook High School over the weekend, but they got some hitters in there with Tom, with Carolyn Melandra, Lida Wos, a very, very talented team. They got Madison Zigorovich in the pitching circle.
Yeah.
I'll get to see them tomorrow.
Young, right?
She is young. I believe she's only a sophomore, I want to say. I think she's a transfer from Woodland Hills. So I get to actually see Sarah Catholic against Apollo Ridge tomorrow, weather permitting. Get to get my first look at Denny Williman's squad for this year, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. So going back to the first pitch and everything we learned, me and Coach Hartman are going to sit down and talk about this. We're going to send some emails out to everybody, and shout out to John Stefanik watching on the feed. He says the MVI first pitch was a good way to promote local teams and play cross classes. He's absolutely right. And next year, it gets even more scramble with classes because you have teams like Fraser dropping down the single A. You have teams dropping down the triple A. You're still going to have your quad A teams in York and Elizabeth Ford, Bell Vernon. So my proposal is, and we can pull this off because we did it.
Yep.
So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
No, you know what my thoughts are.
We're going, and we're going to throw it out there now. We're actually sitting down with a good friend of ours today for lunch, and we have some friends on the Ross Draver Board of Commissioners, and we're proposing a one-day tournament. And first pitch would go from opening weekend probably to a little later around this time in April. All one day. Ross Draver Township, the DeVirgilio Complex, games at 12, 2, 4, 6, 8. Play under the lights in a championship game. Coach Hartman wants to have an actual tournament, have a bracket play. I don't know how possible that'll be because we have to avoid the section matchups. But, tournament play, all in one day, all the best teams. I think we have enough positive feedback, I think we could pull it off. All in one day. Let's get all the teams there. And even if we have to do it like we did it and have 4 showcase games, I mean, get the best of the best in the Valley there. I want to throw Bell Vernon in there on a permanent basis. I'd like to see them come back. You mentioned Sarah Catholic. Coach Hartman said he wishes we could have got Sarah Catholic in there. And, and Coach Williman was ready to come on Saturday, but they had that doubleheader scheduled in West Virginia. Because he would have loved to play Fraser.
I think they would have loved that. I mean that would be a huge 2A matchup to see that for sure.
So, but next year, it's a single A, double A matchup, so we don't have to worry about section play or future opponents.
Right.
That's what we're looking to try to do. So I know we're going to reach out to the Ross Draver board probably within the next couple weeks, and see what the possibility of that is. But like I said, we did it before. We had the senior swing championship game there. So hopefully that's something we can pull off. We're going to pull the coaches that are, were part of the first pitch and see how they want to do it. I'm thinking it's probably going to have to stay like a showcase games because you don't want like Bell Vernon and York in a championship game, So we'll see. Hopefully we can pull that off. I think it would be fantastic. Maybe line some food trucks up. Make a day event of it.
It'd be awesome.
I think it would be a great event to have. Just thank you to everybody that came out to Fraser to enjoy the opening weekend of softball and Saturday on this past weekend. It was fun for us, again, minus the sun poisoning thing. But yeah, anyway, that's all I got about the first pitch. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our old friend Chad Corrado. Got the Mon Valley Independent Summer Basketball League registration site is up and running. If you have not registered, we already got some big names on the girls' registration list. Bree Battles from Sarah Catholic, Rachel Manfredo from McKeesport, hoping she gets some of her friends to come along.
Top 2 picks. I'm calling it now.
Well, what if we get Haley Hertzler in there?
Well, I was going to say, Haley Hertzler graduated.
Madison
Maddie
Hertzler.
But you add her or Brianna Evans. I mean, it's going to be real interesting this year in the Summer League. We're real excited. The boys' registrations are lacking, but they always do. They wait until that last week before.
Yeah, it'll be the week before.
But, again, it's the best Summer League of the summer. I mean, without a doubt. The gameplay is the hype. All the hype we need, So we're excited to have that coming back to Marx's Court Time Sports Center. We're actually meeting again tomorrow. We'll have the full rules in place tomorrow night, meeting with all the commissioners. So, I'm excited. I can't wait for the Summer League.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun this year for sure. So we're going to get that started here real soon.
Yeah, excited to get going with summer basketball action. Still have some time, so be sure to sign up.
Yep.
Get your
buddies.
Get everybody that you know into the summer basketball league. But yeah, I'm still calling it that Rachel Manfredo and Bree Battles definitely going to be first round picks in this.
Absolutely.
In this draft. That's my my prediction. Do have a schedule change for tomorrow. You're going to be heading to Bell Vernon for that West Mifflin game. It's now a 3 p.m. start.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I got to get somebody to get my kid.
Charleroi might be moving
Excuse
up
the
today,
expletive.
too.
Sorry. So.
If anyone's keep the Charleroi.
That's tomorrow's West Mifflin game?
Tomorrow's West Mifflin game, now a 3 p.m. start at Bell Vernon against.
Where did you see that at?
Bell Vernon Athletics just tweeted. Our buddy Matt Humbert. I got the alert.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, Jeremy.
Excuse Jeremy's anger.
To add to that, Charleroi is probably moving up today, too, if everyone's on board. That's what Luke just emailed me and told me.
Couple of schedule changes, so if you're interested in any of those games, those are some changes due to the weather. Not really cooperating with us this week. I know yesterday was okay, but it was a little cold.
It wasn't supposed to be.
But it wasn't too bad.
That was a good day.
Yeah, but we'll have these types of schedule changes by the minute.
Very
I'm sure throughout the
Just
the
follow
next
us on
week or
Twitter.
so.
You'll get the alerts. We do a good job of retweeting and everything. So
yeah. And anybody who doesn't put anything on Twitter regarding your schedule changes, be sure to reach out to us through email, through text. Let us know about your game so we can make different arrangements and update our schedule as the days go by. But some other notable high school topics, just wanted to mention in today's Mon Valley Independent Sports section, a pair of stories on wins for the Fraser Commodores and the Elizabeth Forward Warriors. Fraser with a big section win over Charleroi to start out. And Elizabeth Forward gets the better of Bell Vernon in Section 2 action. So be sure to pick up a copy of the Mon Valley Independent. Subscribe to our e-edition as well. And today's coverage, Jeremy will be heading to Charleroi as the Cougars will host McGuffey in section action. Of course, Charleroi, a big victory over McGuffey yesterday. So a chance for revenge for the Highlanders. That will also be on MVI Live with Alex Lyons.
And me.
And Jeremy.
I'll be in the booth today. I'll be on the headset. It's my first game of the spring.
Yeah.
It's been nice to take some time off and just focus on covering the games.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm excited to get in the booth. Like I said, it's exciting because from when I was growing up, Charleroi was always a dominant baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to see them on the rise again. And
it's been years.
It makes it a lot easier to talk to Coach Mollis, too. He's a lot better when his team's doing well. But it's going to be interesting. I don't remember what we have on the schedule, but there's a couple games coming up. Brownsville, Charleroi baseball. That's the way it used to be in that section, and those games are going to have a lot of meaning again this year, and that's a good thing for local baseball.
And we'll actually go through our coverage schedule here in a second. I will actually be at California for their rematch against Carmichael's today. 15-0 loss yesterday.
17-2.
17-2. That's right. So definitely some revenge on the mind of the Trojans, I'm sure. That game might be moving up. Still waiting to hear updates on that, but it might be moving up to avoid the rain that's expected later on today.
Yeah, the rain's supposed to start about 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
so we're going to hopefully be able to, I'm good in terms of daddy duty pickup, so I got that covered today, so I can adjust to the 3 o'clock start time.
Yeah. But for the rest of the week, coverage-wise, I know you'll be at Bell Vernon tomorrow for that softball matchup against West Mifflin. I, again, will be heading to Sarah Catholic to watch the softball team go up against Apollo Ridge on Thursday. Tentative, of course. This is all weather permitting. Thursday, actually, Adam Brewer will be covering the Bell Vernon softball baseball game, and you will be on MVI Live.
The Bell Vernon softball baseball game?
Baseball game. Did I say
How about
softball?
You did say
How about
softball.
South Park, Bell Vernon?
South, did I? Yeah, sure. Yep.
Speaking
I
of Bell
can't speak.
Vernon, big win last night. For
Yes,
those
very
guys.
big win against West Mifflin. Yeah, walk-off passed ball, just as Tony Watson drew it up. Matt Bamford threw a gem as well.
He did.
So, but Thursday, South Allegheny going to host Sarah Catholic in baseball action. That will be on MVI Live with Jeremy and Alex. And then on Friday, Charleroi Ringgold Baseball. I will have coverage of that from the home of the Rams. And then Fraser going to host Carmichael's in a big softball matchup. And then
I will
Friday
be there
or
for
Saturday,
that. Yeah.
Adam Brewer will be at Bell Vernon for a
Yes.
softball game against Ligonier Valley.
Yes, he will.
So
I might be
very,
able to watch.
very hectic schedule.
Gonna be a good week though.
Good week.
Good games for
Let's-
sure. I'm excited to get my first look at Sarah Catholic on Thursday.
Oh, they're good.
I know Mike Darnay is excited of shooting it right down the road from his house, so it should be good. I forgot that we were doing that game, Alex. So, but yeah, it's going to be exciting. And you mentioned Ringgold Baseball, man. Them and Charleroi softball are in the same situation. There's talent there. They just got to get the bats going.
Yep.
We had our guy on the inside there yesterday, and strikeouts with the bases loaded. I mean, got to get the bat off your shoulder.
Yeah.
You got to swing. You can't strike out looking. That's not going to do you any good. So, Ringgold and Charleroi girls looking to get the ball rolling, but talking to a buddy from Charleroi, nothing cures your softball woes like a visit from Wash High. So Charleroi should be back on the rise here. I think they got Wash High Thursday, and
It's still tough for them because it's
Best Center on
it's Carmichael's,
Friday.
Wash High, then Char Houston, then that Best Center game. So they still have two tough opponents in there.
Yeah.
Because Nick and I were looking at that
Well,
yesterday.
the Char Houston game though doesn't matter.
No, but it's still rough.
But you got to get the bats going, and Wash High will help you do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
That can be a murderer's row down there when you get Jones, DeYounger, and Salaski all going along with Pendo.
It's a really good lineup. It's once they do get going, once the weather I think heats up a little bit, I'm sure the bats will as well.
You mentioned, the Bell Vernon walk-off. It was pass ball, and pass balls were a big issue yesterday in that Charleroi-Fraser game. I mean, there were some struggles behind the plate. A couple balls that probably should have been squeezed. One pass ball led to 2 Fraser runs. That one was probably a wild pitch, but if you're Coach Tillman, do you consider moving DeYounger back behind the plate and slide Pendo over? But last couple games, even yesterday, Pendo had a couple bobbles, but she was able to recover being at second base. So there's some moves that might be made there. So we got a message from John Stefanik. The Char Houston game is moved to later in April. So Wash High, and then it is Best Center.
So that would
after
definitely help things, yeah.
That will help get the bats on track. And the issue for Charleroi yesterday was, Fraser scored 3, they came back and got 1, and then I think they had a hit in the second, and then they didn't have another hit until the bottom of the 5th inning. So as Fraser was still piling on runs, Charleroi was not able to answer, and I don't know if Jensen Hartman's ball, it might have killed a deer down on the bottom of that hill.
Oh,
because
she absolutely.
that was a
murdered
rocket. Washinsky with a 2-run homer as well for the Commodores, and they're going to be a tough out for everybody. And like I talked to Coach Hartman after the game, and the thing is, he's impressed by Nicole Palmer. Is when it's cold out, that ball's hard to grip, and she's still getting a lot of spin on her ball. So as the weather warms up, she's going to be a lot tougher to hit. So.
And her velocity going up just makes everything look
Yeah.
more unhittable because, she wasn't throwing that hard when she had to come with some speed, but ticking up a couple miles an hour, and then you have the spin. That's not easy to play against.
Yeah, and Salashi had a tough day for Charleroi. I think she did end up striking out 6 against a good Fraser lineup, and I think she got Wyszynski twice. So she has the stuff. It's just, I think, towards the end of the game there, I think I put in the story, I think she threw 140-some pitches.
Yeah.
So I'm sure fatigue set in. They do have another pitcher. It's actually John Stefanik's daughter, Emma. So I would expect to see her in these games against Wash High or a best center. Give Salashi some rest, put her over at first base. You could move Jones somewhere else or put Salashi somewhere else and then have, Stefanik give you a few innings to really, give Salashi some rest.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they didn't go to her at all yesterday. I was kind of thinking we're going to see Emma Stefanik come in at least for the last inning or two in that game.
And she's been pitching pretty well, and I know in the JV games and in her varsity time as well. So definitely something that I know Trey Tillman even said at the beginning of the season. We're not just going to rely on Sophia to win us softball games. With the grueling schedule that they have, you have 2 very reliable pitchers that you can rely on, and you gotta use it.
Yeah, and that's what it had been the first couple games of the season, that they had been relying on her to win them games. She kept them alive around Yaw, kept them alive around Ringgold, and the bats just never kind of came to life.
Yep.
But, again, once they get going, they are going to be a tough team to beat.
Absolutely.
And like I said, when I was talking to a couple Charleroi people, while I was working last night, Charleroi is going to be a playoff team in that section. There is no doubt.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
You want to make sure you're on a roll as you head to the playoffs. Every coach will tell you. It's going to be, Fraser, Carmichael, Charleroi, the top 3. And then, there was a monkey wrench thrown into it when Best Center beat Bentworth yesterday. So, California, Bentworth, and maybe Best Center battle for that 4th spot. But, I would say California has a leg up there. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Do a Nick check. What's up, Nick?
What's up?
He's alive. He's over there
over
writing
here.
letters.
We'll get into a little bit of national discussion here. Jeremy, I'll let you take the lead on this because college basketball, that's your thing.
First of all, let me introduce everybody to the GOAT, the greatest basketball coach of all time.
This doesn't look like Tom Brady.
The basketball coach of all time. Mike Krzyzewski is joining us today. Congratulations to Kansas.
Spell his last name.
KRZYZEWSKI.
You have no way of checking
Anybody
it.
know if that's right?
Hold on.
It's right. Trust me. I've been a Duke fan for almost 30 years. I'm good.
You're old.
The national – shut up. The national title was decided last night in Kansas, rallying to beat North Carolina. And I had some text messages, even from you, but I was okay with Duke losing. And it's –
I want you to tell the people what I said to you.
It's only fitting that Coach K's career ends to North Carolina. I mean, it really is, because he has battled North Carolina for so many years, and I was okay with it. I was surprisingly okay with it. I know Jose texted me after the game to make sure I was still okay. I was. I might not have had North Carolina won, but for all you Tar Heel fans that sent me some not so nice messages on Friday, all I can say is Duke did not allow a team to have the largest comeback in NCAA championship history last night. So there's that, and those 2 teams are going to battle for the next year.
Saturday at 11:08 p.m. I said to Jeremy, "Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened."
And what was my
What a good
response?
friend.
What was my response?
You said, "I'm good. He's the GOAT," and that is not what I wanted. I wanted him to yell. I wanted him to yell at me or something. But Jeremy's
I
in
was
good
okay.
spirits, so it's good. But
it's funny because I put on our little Google Doc here for our format here. I said, Rock Chalk, Jayhawks beat Tar Heels. Jeremy did not have to jump through a window. So,
I paid good money to watch him jump through a window.
Yes. But here's my question. Is Krzyzewski the greatest college basketball coach of all time?
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's no debating that.
See, now everybody's going to throw the wooden debate, but college basketball is so much different.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the 60s no more.
Imagine what he would have done if he didn't have the one and done.
Right. I mean, Coach K's the GOAT. Get over it. Just like Tom Brady's the GOAT. Get over it.
He is.
I mean,
He is.
You can't. I honestly feel there is no debate.
There's not.
No.
No.
He is the GOAT. And Jeff Oliver says he dyes his hair, which is fine with me because he's still the GOAT. He can't.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
He's the GOAT. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, you can do anything.
just like Tom Brady can do what he wants. He can
Did you-
retire and then come
did
back.
Did anybody watch the Bleacher Report video that I tweeted? The tribute?
Nah, I
Yeah,
try
I
to
did
avoid the things
not.
that you tweet, to be honest.
It got me. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah,
did. It got me.
I saw you
It got
say
me.
it got me, and then I didn't watch the video.
But again, you'll learn this when you have kids. When his daughters came on, that was it. That was gone.
Yeah.
Gone. No. Messy, sloppy cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love watching
Anybody
Jeremy
else
cry.
got any national thing? I'll let you
No,
take that third bullet.
Yeah,
Jose.
well, I got something after Jose or before. Do you want to go first?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And this is going to be short because I know you guys aren't NASCAR people. Now, this isn't me focusing on what happened.
I'll be back. I'm going to go back.
No, this
NASCAR.
This isn't what happened in NASCAR. This is just about people in general. Be better. If you have seen what's come out about Haley Deegan, who drives in the truck series, about someone taking her account, you know how everyone makes fake celebrity accounts, and catfishing people for money. So the people that are getting catfished are threatening her and her boyfriend's life. Like, be better. Realize you're getting catfished. It's not a real account. Like, if it doesn't have the blue check mark, be better, people. I mean,
Or just people don't make fake accounts.
Yeah.
That too.
I mean,
I think that's more of
no-
a priority.
No
Don't
need
do
to
that.
threaten people's lives. I mean, like,
Yeah.
because like this fake account was telling this random Joe that like, hey, yeah, my boyfriend's
Average
beat
Joe?
her.
Average Joe?
It might have been Average Joe.
Oh, you've been there. He's probably one made the account.
you might be right, but like, apparently this fake account is telling the guy like, hey, my boyfriend's beating me. I've had like severe broken bones. Bruises in my face or like a broken jaw. This is a person that's seen on national TV every week, probably the most popular driver inside the truck series just due to the fact of who she is. I mean, it's as simple as that. But the fact is, like, if that was real, wouldn't you be able to tell on national TV when you see her every week? I mean, come on, guy.
Just don't do that in general.
Yeah.
Like, don't
catfish.
Don't pretend to be somebody
I'm
that
gonna
you're
take
not.
one out of Casey's book. Stop it.
Stop it. Just stop it.
But like, yeah, I was looking into that
You
yesterday.
know,
It's
it's
like,
really
cool.
not hard to not be a bad
Yeah,
person.
Yes.
Don't be a douche.
It's not difficult.
Sometimes it's tough.
No, it's not.
No.
It's really not.
Baseball's a fun sport.
Yeah, but
Let's talk about it.
yeah, Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, boys.
Baseball's back. Yep. I am thrilled.
So
I was just admiring how good our sports section
instead
was.
of Backstreet's back, baseball's back.
Baseball is back.
All right.
All right. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that Major League Baseball is going to have a season. I'm thrilled that it wasn't delayed a ton. I honestly can't wait to get to PNC Park and just enjoy a ball game. I mean, that's
MVI Live Day at the ballpark.
that's something that I'm sure we'll discuss and we'll have a day. But yeah, I'm a huge baseball guy, as I'm sure everybody knows, and yeah, I'm just very excited to get rolling here. See what some of these teams can do. Obviously, the Dodgers have a all-star team, but it doesn't matter because the Red Sox are going all the way. But yeah, very excited for opening day on Thursday.
What are your predictions for the Pirates? How many wins?
That's
now we'll-
down the list a
my
little
bad.
bit.
My bad. My
we're
bad.
getting a little-
You wanted a segment. You got one.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
there.
my bad.
So we'll talk a little Pirates here in a little bit, but we'll just go into our individual segments. We'll get into some other topics here to close out the show
Stretch out.
here on Tuesday. Thank you to those who have tuned in here today for episode number 54, the Brian Urlacher episode. I know Jeremy was looking up
Horace Grant,
famous
baby.
number
Horace Grant.
54s.
Horace Grant episode.
But yeah, let's start with our individual segments. And Jeremy, you got a couple of grievances to air this morning.
One big one.
Okay,
You people,
just
you got to pay attention. You have to. You have to pay attention to what you read on Twitter. You got all these fanboys out there that just want a little bit of publicity. To you people, the fanboys, stop what you're doing. with these freaking made-up all-star teams. Stop it. You didn't watch half the people play that you're throwing on an all-star team. I mean, look, I'm not even hyping our own paper because we don't even have our basketball all-stars out yet. We don't.
We will.
Within the next 7
Stay
days,
tuned.
you will have them.
This is kind of like a promotional.
This is the
thing
time
for-
of year where, the weather plays havoc on our schedule and we have to find stuff to fill space. The basketball all-stars are one of those things. Listen,
I think you need like.
Listen, there is no
Snickers
such
or
thing
something.
as the His Place All-American team.
Is
On
there?
Twitter, there might be.
I run the
mean-
social media, and I do not make that, so no, not
right,
doing that.
exactly.
Well,
But
that's
to
how
be-
you know
but
we
to
have
be-
insider information.
But to be fair, if it was, we'd at least have some relative information because I've been at the games.
right. But
Not
like,
that I would ever do that, though. I mean, like, what's the point?
I saw an all-star team that had a girl that didn't.
Man, I've never seen. you
I
like
think
this
her
before.
season high in one game was 6 points. She's an all-star. What?
That's more than I scored this
Like,
year.
was this her dad that made the list? Like, I just don't understand. Watch, if it's not an nationally accredited media source, nobody cares. Nobody. I mean, if
We do
you
not
need,
care.
if you need your ego to be inflated by one of these fake things, good for you. But if it's not a true media source like the MVI, or dare I say, the Observer Reporter or the Herald or the official sections or the Tri-Cata Athletic Directors Association or
The Trib just released
the
their-
Trib just released
all-stars.
theirs. The guy that runs the Post-Gazette, he even has one. I would take that with 50,000 more grains of salt than some of these other sites.
Oh, those are absolutely official all-star teams,
Right.
For all those
So,
publications.
just please pay attention to what you're retweeting because you look foolish.
Hey guys, look, the sunburn's back.
It's all right. Is it all right? Am I starting to ooze again?
A little bit,
The
yeah.
anger is coming out. So, yeah.
I love how you in our group chat are like, man, look at my sunburn. And I'm like, oh man, that's gross.
It was gross.
That was my reaction. But
Yeah, but that's all I got. I just can't with the nonsense and the shenanigans by just fanboys.
You all right there, Jose?
yeah,
Are you?
eh.
Is this week number 3 that nothing's grinding your gears?
No. I'm gonna quit it at back-to-back weeks. You know what really grinds my gears, Nick?
What really grind your gears?
I'm going back to Twitter.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
And
hot topic.
no,
today.
this actually isn't like I'm not angry. I just need people to like calm down. Leave social media managers alone. You know, people who run social media accounts. For one, I don't know anyone who runs the Pittsburgh Pirates social media.
I do.
Okay, Alex does. Say I'm sorry for me
Okay.
to them. Just
I don't
quit
know.
it, because
Is this
Bob
directed
Nutting,
towards me.
huh?
Is
Probably.
this directed
It's
towards
kind
me?
of directed towards you. Bob Nutting doesn't run the Pirates social. He doesn't even know they have a Twitter account. Bob Nutting probably doesn't even know what Twitter is.
He
Well,
doesn't
I
know
was
they
gonna
have a baseball team.
Not Bob Nutting does. It's a parody account on Twitter.
He's probably
Jeremy.
like, I thought we only had ski resorts.
There's a baseball team in here?
Wait, he sold his ski resorts though, so
Absolutely, you can
True.
tweet out, your frustrations, tweet out anything. Obviously the O'Neal Cruz news was tough. Him not making the big league team. He deserves to be there. There's no question.
Just relax. He'll be here by
He
June.
will absolutely be in
it a-
Pittsburgh this season. There's
Give
no
it-
question.
Give it 30 to 60 days. He'll be here.
There's no question about that. But don't yell at the person running the Pirates social media page because really they have just no control over that.
Honestly, you know who they should hire? They should hire the guy that runs the Wendy's page.
Oh, yeah, they
Yes.
should.
That guy
They
is
should
right.
hire
Yes.
Wendy's social
Oh,
media.
he can
absolutely.
he can take some heat,
And
I'm
he
sure.
will dish it out.
Yeah.
He will dish it
Yeah.
out.
But, those people are just doing their jobs, just kind of like us. Like, we just do our jobs, so just don't give them a ton of slack or a ton of,
Don't give them any
He-
slack at all.
no, give them
trolling,
some,
guys.
give
Just
them
keep
some
trolling.
slack. Do not listen to Jeremy. He is the worst.
Trolls of the world.
Jeremy's the worst. Do not listen to him. Except for when he's airing his grievances, he kind of has a point with all those. But
Coach K's even there shaking his head, saying Jeremy's the worst.
Yep, there he is. But Jeremy's the worst when it comes to that.
Not all the time.
I feel like you do it just to make me angry. Because there are times where there was one time where you actually tweeted the Pirates account, and then you sent it to me, and you said, "How does this make you feel?" And I responded.
What was that about? I forget.
I don't know, but I responded, and I just said, "I hate you." That was all I said.
And I'm also the person that tweeted the Thanos snap from our sports account, and I still did not care.
Yes.
Because it was relevant.
Well, that's another discussion we have to have about your use of social media. Because I had to make a new Twitter page, but whatever. Just stop tweeting at the Pirates account thinking that that's Bob Nutting or anybody that makes actual decisions regarding a professional sports team.
In the words
Jose?
of Thanos, I am inevitable.
You didn't even just say it right. You had this. I am inedible.
I had cinnamon on mine.
He's inedible?
Oh, from his place coffee.
Yeah. I didn't think I would like the iced, but I'm kind of a fan now.
What did you say, Nick? I didn't hear.
Just for you, I'm gonna go tweet at the Pirates right now.
Don't you do it.
doing
You better
it right
say
now.
some nice
Hey,
stuff.
tell the Pirates social media manager you love him, Nick.
Just say, listen, I enjoy what you do. I respect it. That's what you say. If you say anything mean, I'm deleting.
Now we're in trouble because
following you.
MVI Sports was not even following the Pirates until right now.
If you tweet at the Pirates with the MVI Sports account, I swear to you.
Hey, man, at least
All right, we could do this off camera before I actually get angry at Jeremy. We'll move on to our MVI Live moment of the week. Alex, what do you got?
I would have had video for this, actually, if it wasn't for the cold weather.
Was it?
It's from that East Allegheny game. Zack Black.
I enjoyed that game. I had fun.
I did not.
I had fun covering it with you guys.
Zack Black absolutely hit the cover off the ball into the wind. If you've ever been to East A, it's just a hillside.
I made the comment before the game that I thought nobody was going to hit a home run.
And Zack absolutely just
You
hit
forgot
a
Zack Black was in the
Here's
lineup.
my thing. Why is it even legal to not have an outfield fence?
That's what I was wondering the same thing. Have you ever been there?
I was told if you hit the hill, it's a home run. That's what I was told.
I used to play in Little League. I used to play at
I'm
a
going to
field.
start tweeting at the EA Athletic account. You go ahead, do your thing.
I mean, no.
No, that's
Please
the
do.
same thing. Don't be tweeting at the athletic accounts.
Please do.
But
They
I
were
mean,
they were
they still
they were not
they're
nice
actually in
there.
control of that
Yeah.
though.
They were not. I was not a fan of East Allegheny.
Okay, well, we don't have to talk about that. I mean, that's
I felt like I was
Move
going
on.
to die.
Anyway,
Like
Anyways.
behind the backstop, there was like a 50-foot hill minimum, and like the wind's blowing. I did not think we were getting out there alive, or I thought something was going to break.
So the MVI Live moment of the week was Zack Black hitting a home run.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
It was incredible. It was absolutely just because all the elements were against him, and you didn't think anyone was getting the ball out, and he just absolutely crushed it into the wind. I mean, it was amazing.
Just continues to have a remarkable start to the season. Nick, you got a little bit of a segment
I do.
this week. What do you got?
Pirates over under 64 wins.
Oh, I'm going under. I'm going to go 60 at
60?
best. At best. You know why? Because our pitching stinks.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the reason.
I'm going to go over.
Really?
68.
68. I think that's
a
a successful season.
That's a 6-game improvement from
Yeah.
last year?
I,
That's about right.
I will say
I think O'Neal Cruz, Diego Castillo, I think they get you 6 games.
I like the Castillos.
I
the opening day roster.
I love the fact that Castillo has made the opening day roster because of what he did in the spring.
I would have liked it more if O'Neal Cruz was on the opening day roster.
But I
But
think
I get
they care more
the
about
thing.
the year of eligibility with him.
right, and that's
They're still trying to sign Hayes, apparently. I mean, which I'm okay. I
Well,
hope that's true.
At this
but
point, listen, I was a week ago. I said the exact same thing. They should have signed Hayes a year and a half ago.
Well, they tried
when he
to.
made his
He
major
said
league
no.
debut, and he said no. You know, he was betting on himself. But at this point, I feel like Hayes has kind of put himself in a tough spot because he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
He's again
Gonna miss the
potentially
start of
going
the
to miss opening day, and I know that they said that early in the season he will be back, but they didn't specifically say he will be ready by opening day. So that's a cause for concern. I think that he's lost a lot in his contract negotiations and what him betting on himself, obviously you bet on what you could do on the field. There's no question Brian Hayes can be an all-star. There's no question that he could be the face of this franchise, but if you can't be on the field, it puts you in a tough spot, and it puts a kind of a wrinkle in contract negotiations and what you're able to get in terms of a long-term contract or a lot of money. So see what happens.
I'm over. I'm at 70. And,
Really?
and I'll tell you why. And, again, Cruz is going to play a lot more this year.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Tucker is hitting the ball very well. I think – and I'm not saying he's going to hit what he's doing in spring right now.
Yeah.
But if Cole Tucker can go out and hit like 270, that's a huge improvement for anything he's done, or that's a huge improvement on what Kevin Newman hit last year. You add Castillo. Is the pitching staff really worse than last year? No.
I don't know how it could be. I don't know how it could be worse.
Exactly. They have, I think,
can't
more
get
depth
any
this
worse.
year.
I mean, they're already at rock bottom. So.
Listen,
You have
when
Wilson,
you
add Peters, you have Quintana, you have Keller. I mean, that's already more depth than you had last year.
and Zach Thompson was a good addition from Miami. But when you say it can't be any worse in regards to the Pirates,
It can always be
somehow
worse.
it gets worse.
Yeah.
Somehow.
But I think, again, with you adding O'Neal Cruz in for half a season minimum probably,
Yeah.
I don't think that they are going to be as bad as they were last year. I don't think they're going to be good, but I still think they can get to the 70-win mark.
I don't think there's any doubt that this is a team that can hit. You know, you have a guy like Brian.
That's what I was going to say. They're going to put up runs.
Yeah.
And I like David Bednar as a closer.
Yeah,
he's
I do
good.
too. Yeah, and I you know, they're going to score runs. You got Brian Reynolds, Yoshi Tsutsugo, I think is going to have a good season. Daniel Vogelbach, I think, was a great acquisition at the DH spot. He's going to produce and hit some home runs for you. You know, like we said before, I hope Michael Chavis is able to do a lot with this team and is able to cut down the strikeouts, hit some homers, and contribute. But I think it's just all going to come down to pitching, and I really don't think that. You know, you have JT Brubaker, who had a really good start to the season last year, ended the year with an ERA over 5.
And injuries played in so much, but that's why I say I think the depth helps this year, where you have more guys that you can plug in your rotation with Peters and Bryce Wilson now and there.
The key is Vanessa Hudgens gets them that 6 more wins.
If you think she's going to be in friggin' Altoona in 3 weeks when Cole Tucker's hitting under 100.
She's going to be out there on top of the dugout, dancing away.
She's going to be distracting the other team's pitchers, and we're going to be good.
She's going to be part of the Cannonball crew, and it's going to be highly motivating.
I will say the one thing that does concern me, I think they have more depth pitching, but their catcher's a lot weaker this year.
Defensively, I think
that's where
I
I'm
think
going.
I think Roberto Perez is basically Jacob Stallings. I mean, I think it's the same catcher.
Stallings calls such a good game.
And Perez is a stopgap between when Henry Davis eventually gets to Pittsburgh.
Just call him up now.
Why not? You know, just give him early, at least by the beginning of next season. Just let him, roll with the punches in the minors. I mean, he's a college catcher, so he has some. Experience. He's a little older than, just your everyday high school catcher coming out of the draft. But, yeah, once the Pirates get Henry Davis up and, O'Neal Cruz is up here for good, Nick Gonzalez, I mean, there is a ton of talent in the system. Quinn Priester, I think Roansy Contreras, Miguel Yajor, who, has a couple starts under his belt. There is talent there. I think you got to use that eventually. Yeah. Sooner rather than later. Just bring them up, see what happens.
It can't be worse, right? It can always be worse.
It can always be worse. But
it could be worse. You could be the Cincinnati Reds right now.
That's true. We say that.
Or you could be Richard Rodriguez.
We say that, but the Reds will probably sweep the Pirates.
That's the thing. We say it can't be any worse when it comes to the Pirates, and then it gets worse, and then we say it can't be any worse than what the Reds are going through, and then they end up having a good season.
Here's the thing, too, and the Pirates always do it. Against the top teams in the division, they're good.
Yeah.
They hang with the Brewers and
but then they get swept at Wrigley.
But then they go to Arizona, who won like 19 games last year, and they get swept.
Yeah.
It's the bad teams that, they struggle against.
I mean, how about the Rays? You could be the Rays, too, also trading Austin Matthews, who had or Austin Meadows, who had 27 home runs and 106 ribbies last year.
Yeah, can you imagine trading Austin Meadows
could you imagine?
and Shane Baz and Tyler Glasnow for Chris Archer?
Wow.
Wait, that's a different trade, right?
Wait, I mean,
we talking about a different
where is
one?
Chris Archer now?
He just signed. Yeah,
He signed with the Minnesota Twins.
But hear
But
me out.
didn't he end up going back to the Rays?
Last
year.
Yeah,
last
I was
year.
going to say, I thought.
But I do want to propose this question to you, because I've actually, you three, because I've asked this to a couple people. And yes, I agree, that is probably the worst trade in MLB history.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
But,
100%.
and hear me out, I'm going to give you some precursor to this. Does the Garrett Cole trade rival it? But let me explain. Because look what they gave up to get Chris Archer. Look what they got back for Garrett Cole. They didn't get, out of the three players, they didn't get anyone nearly as good as one of those three for Chris Archer, for Garrett Cole, who is a Cy Young caliber pitcher.
Garrett Cole wasn't a Cy Young caliber pitcher at
But
Pittsburgh.
But still, he had more potential than Chris Archer. He was younger. He threw harder. I mean, he was still a better pitcher.
But in that deal, and I understand why people don't like it, but in that deal they did get Joe Musgrove, who
I do like Musgrove.
You know, was good, was serviceable. Colin Moran was there long term. I mean, all these guys that they got for Garrett Cole were in Pittsburgh longer than Garrett Cole was in Houston.
That is fair. And I kind of did forget about Musgrove.
Yeah.
And Musgrove, you're still reaping some benefits.
There
off
is
of
no
that.
question that Archer trade is
it's the
10
worst.
times worse.
No,
than
I
Garrett.
agree. But I guess my question was, does that Archer trade make the Cole trade look worse?
No, I think it just makes everything look bad.
Oh, it does.
I think that looks bad.
The Pirates front office was just a train wreck.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, the McCutcheon trade was good.
Yeah, you got Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, I think that one was good.
I don't think it matters because, yes, he's a Cy Young candidate, but Garrett Cole's still giving up dingers left and right in the
I mean,
game.
after he stopped using that pine tar, I mean, he kind of like dropped off.
I mean, let's be honest. I love that Cole Tucker hit a home run off Garrett Cole in spring training just because screw Garrett Cole.
I took over a fantasy dynasty team, and the first thing I did was trade Garrett Cole for Wander Franco just because he plays for the Yankees. So, good riddance.
I heard Vanessa gave him extra special love after that, too.
Did I say Cole Tucker?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant Garrett Cole. I don't know what's happening to me today.
Anyway. Yeah.
We're a good time.
We are a good time. We're all over the place today.
Breaking news.
Okay.
Tiger is back. He
Wow.
is playing this weekend.
That's surprising.
The biggest non-secret in the
Yeah,
world.
that wasn't surprising at all.
But his quote is, as of right now, all signs point to I'm playing. Well, it starts in 48 hours, everybody. So,
We'll see.
Anyway.
We'll see how that rolls out. But anything else, guys? Anything else you guys want to discuss? We talked a lot today.
We did.
we did. It was good. Another good episode. I think.
Yeah.
I think last week was one of our best, and I think this one might have topped it a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody who stuck through all that, stuck through it with us. So we appreciate the support. But as we close things out, I'd like to remind all of you to subscribe to the VSG podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow us on social media. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button on our MVI Live YouTube channel for more information on upcoming broadcasts. And again, advertising is available here on the VSG podcast. So if you are a business looking to advertise, if you're interested, please contact Alex Lyons.
Hey, that's me.
alines@yourmvi.com for more information. He'll get you in touch with everyone, and we'll make it happen. So thank you again to His Place Coffee Community and more here in Monessen. I got that right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. For hosting us, allowing us to spout our nonsense here in this room every single week, whether it's Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. We don't have a specific day at this point
Thanks, weather.
just because of weather and because of everything we have going on, all these games that are on Saturdays and things like that. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you to His Place for hosting us every single week. But for Jeremy Salou, for Alex Lyons, Nick Hicksonball, I am Jose Negron. Have a wonderful Tuesday, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.